Kat is a stay-at-home mom who uses nap time to twerk on Instagram for the environment. Give it up for Kat.
Okay, so as some of you may know, the root of the word passion actually means to suffer. And as an environmentalist who's trying to enjoy her life in a place where these still exist, I've had to downgrade to passionate-ish. So I'm actually a dreamer, and I've been always fascinated with the way the world works and wondering if, there's better ways to do things. And so that pretty much means that I've been half-assing my way through life since the 80s. And what I'm realizing is actually this is a good way to be. Here I am, my senior year of college. I was on academic probation my freshman year, and I basically did the absolute bare minimum to graduate. So when I did graduate, I really didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. But luckily, my adventurous spirit brought me to the jungle of South America. And it was in this place that I first felt my deepest connection to nature, and also realized that the way that we live our lives in many ways is a choice. And so I came back and I C+'d my way through a nonprofit master's degree. I landed my dream job where I worked for 9 years. And while it was a good experience, what I learned was that nonprofit does not always mean virtuous, and they are not exempt from corruption and dysfunction. And also that, yes, like in a major way, and also that a job was not going to be enough to fulfill me. But luckily my job did involve some travel, and so in 2010, I ended up in another small South American town. This was a beach town with no roads, very limited electricity, very modest accommodations. And it was on this beach that my dear friend and I got onto the topic of the environment and the destruction of the environment. And there was a moment where I was like, what are we going to do about it? Like, we need to fix this. And so when I returned from that trip, I was manic about garbage and just material excess in general. And I was really ready to rally the troops. And what I realized is that I needed to start with myself. I needed to start making changes myself. So I started pretty easy, at least so I thought, with bringing my own bag to the grocery store, which people still don't do. Garish told me he only started doing it after my run-through last week, so I'm pretty excited about that. And that eventually moved on to some other things, like those produce bags that people rip down. You don't need those, or you can get reusable ones. Simple ecology, Google it. I'm also a leftover person, so I always bring my own Tupperware anytime I go out to eat. And plastic water bottles, I Googled today that 1 million of these minutes are being purchased. So something to think about. If you don't like the tap water in Chicago, who does? Invest in a Berkey water filter. They are apocalypse proof if you are worried about that. And then I moved on to coffee cups. 25 billion coffee cups are consumed in this country every single year. And so 1 cup might not feel like a lot to you, but it is contributing to this much bigger problem. And I got a little obsessed with cups for a while. Maybe I can have the coders make the app that I had in my head. And I'm like, why do we need a new cup for every drink? And I'm like, everybody, let's do this. And they were like, no, shut up. So I just kept focusing on myself, and I started composting. This is an amazing way to invest in the environment and also just feel like an environmental rock star. So healthy soil compost, do it. And then I started thinking about bigger systems, like our fast fashion, and thinking about how much do we have, how much do we really need, and also where are these clothes coming from, who's making them, what's their life like, and what is the impact that it's having on their community and their environment. And then naturally, I became vegan, and you're welcome for not spending 5 minutes with my vegan propaganda. And mostly I did that because I'm vegan-ish. I love butter croissants. I'm on a kick right now, big time. And I know vegans everywhere are choking on their quinoa, but this is just the way that I choose to live my life. And so we know reduce, reuse, recycle, and I think we've been a little set on recycle for a while. And so it's time to think about reducing and reusing, and quite frankly, this journey has made me feel really happy. But what does it really mean in the big scheme of things? And often I'm like, it means nothing, we're so far gone, forget it, we're all going down with the ship, let's just party and fuck up this world as much as we possibly can. But I have procreated, so I am going to try to leave this world a better place. And so now, since I have to quote Tupac, let's change the way we think, let's change the way we eat, and let's change the way we treat each other. I might have misquoted him, and give it a C+ effort. Thank you.